Доброго дня.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Ukraine Crisis Media Center continues its work, and today we have the second meeting in the framework of initiative Community Spokespersons. This is time when decentralization is discussed by those people who create this decentralization process and who knows what successes and what problems are present in this process. Today we invited Yevgeniya Korinna, acting chief of Stepove village, Slobozhanska community, Dnipropetrovsk region. You are a chief, you have been heading Stepove village council for many years, and I know that the community members for 15 years elected you. And by your initiative, you started the process of uniting of Slobozhanska community. So there is no head of council at Stepove village. What was your motives and how people perceived your initiative? Our story is rather interesting. Our village is rather small. We get dotations, subsidies. We had 5,000 our money and 5,000 we got from the state. We just managed to survive, not more. When decentralization started, I was ready to quit my office as the head of council. We responded to the reform. We started our efforts. I tell to my people that there is much information on the internet. Nobody understood what it would be like. I used some people believe in me. We were the first in our region. For the second time in my life, I just asked people to trust me. That is why people voted, and we established a united community. People ask me, what is happening in our village? I tell them this is a result of our united community process. So are people satisfied? Yes, they are. People do not go to regional center for anything, for dotations, subsidies, for certificates issuing. We signed memorandum approved by the deputies, people's deputies, and we follow the memorandum. All civil services are provided in our village. No member of community goes to regional or district centers. So we have the Office of Development and Maintenance of our village. Our chief of this vigil has a seal, and all services, administration services on the part of the government, they are provided by our department of village chief. So we have two departments, the department of chief and the department of development of the village. What are your responsibility? What is the scope of your responsibility now? Nothing has changed in my activities, just I have less responsibility. We have the head of village council, but the activities are the same, the problems are the same. We should address them. They concern water supply, sewerage, supply of electricity, also land parcels and schools. Previously there was the People's Deputies Council and now you have Slobozhanska not village but district people deputies council. Do they succeed in standing for priorities of Stepove village, or you do not have such problem, don't you? I didn't understand that the situation would be like we have now. Everything is so positive. Our neighboring village community members, they are so positive, they demonstrate so good attitudes to us. They are people deputies, they stand for our Stepove village. Also, we are not their village, we're just part of community, neighboring village. Yes, I see. A rather important factor is that you have now more funds, more money. Maybe this provides you better mood as well as to your deputies. Talking about Slobozhanska community, I would like to ask to show us the picture before establishing United Community. You can see 2014 accumulated budget of Slobozhanska and Stepove Council. The budget is 46.2 million hryvnias, and today, as of today, the budget is threefold higher. Where did you get this money from? Just from new taxes. They are proceeds from taxes. Previously we didn't have profit tax proceeds. Now we have 60%. On the territory of Yubileyna Village Council, they have rather large enterprises, so we won thanks to the tax proceeds. Do you mean not new taxes, but those taxes proceeds, they were directed to the general national budget? Yes, they are not new taxes, they are just taxes which now do not flow to the national budget. They go to our local budget. Where did you invest this money? In Stepove village and in community? Well, this would not be correct to tell about Slobozhanska village. I will tell about Stepove, our village. So, what did you receive? We had 1 million per year. So for development we had 50 to 100,000. Now by the end of this year we are going to invest 25 million into the village development. There was some delay because we were not ready to the United Community establishment, and now we are doing all the preparations very fast. We have already one organization has already won in the contract for improving kindergarten facilities for 2 million. We are now repairing sewerage system in the village. Complete replacement of sewerage pipelines is supposed. We repair our roads. We install outdoor lighting fixtures on the streets. So we conduct very many activities via Prozoro system, internet system. We have many tenders such as laying asphalt coverage on the roads, and we will also make a green zone for children, and we will lay artificial coverage. I can't even list now all the projects which are ongoing. Yes, I see you have many successful projects. And what about the very beginning of the project? Did you sort of unite in Slobozhanska and Stepove or more communities? First, the plan, when it was not yet approved, we completed the uniting of our two communities. Ivan Mikolavich proposed us. He also proposed to Chumakivske village council to enter into this united community, but Chumakivske rejected. They didn't agree entering into the united community. We have calculated the benefits, and we have the Office of Reforms. We addressed this office. With their assistance, we compiled the general plan, and with this master plan, we were very fast. We conducted public discussions, deputies council session, and Yuvilina also held people's deputy session. So the regional council, they had to change the prospective plans. So on voluntary basis principle, we used our opportunities. And what now? Whether Chumakivske village want to join you now? Well, the problem is, I have contacts and maintain them with Chumakivske village management. Our successes, they are not very well covered in mass media sources. They do not have information about our successes. We would like people to go on excursions to our village so that they can get such information. Well, the role was for 15 years I saw how the village develops, and I understood that if we were not change something, the village could die. So as I like our people, I love our village, and this was the motive why I started changes. So you started changes because you need to organize survival of the village. And what problems, what challenges do you experience now? We do not have problems. We have money. When we have money, we do not have problems. And what about lands? This is very painful matter. Today we have conference ongoing. Our Polish colleagues, counterpart, they asked us, what do you need, what assistance do you need, and heads of village councils, they listed the topics, and I spoke at the conference, and I said that if we even resolve all the problems anyway, we will not do much until the legislation is brought into compliance with decentralization principles. This concerns transfer of lands to village councils. We have such lease contracts where 1% rentals are paid, and the administration is satisfied, but we are not. We would like to have such opportunities. In Ternopil region, they said that they made the master plan of the village, taking into consideration even those land which were distributed as shares, because if the government doesn't give us lands, we can take them anyway. So what about moratorium? Is this a break to you, or it helps you to develop?
At the seminar, we discussed this issue. Questions were asked by the representatives of power institutions, and they asked about the cancellation of moratorium, our attitude. The heads of communities, they said that they are for the cancellation of moratorium. And what about Stepove village and Slobozhanska community? So there are such lands that are not used at all. The administration is not interested in this issue, and we are interested. All the land should be leased or given to people. There are some lands that there are certificates that were not provided to people. So we should deal with these issues. This is additional revenue to budget. You've mentioned several times about Dobre program, and I know that you are partners, and you are one of the 20 communities that are partners of Dobre program, and we are really glad. And what are your expectations and the help of these international programs? What is the role of such programs in your activity? So we didn't have time to have information campaign when we were united, and now we educate people. At conference, I travel and go to different training sessions, and I never thought that so much money can be provided for these projects, and I want to deal with these issues, how to attract international investments. I didn't even imagine that money can be brought to communities, and we got involved actively in these processes. And in our schedule, there is a specialist who deal with this matters, the writing of projects, and we introduced such a position. We wrote several projects, and we sent them, and we applied to Dobre, and we won. And this is additional money that will enter the village soon. So I saw on the site of yours that the strategy is developed, and of Slobozhanska community. What are the priorities for the development of the community in Stepove village? So Renaissance Foundation financed the development of strategic plan. We started with questionnaires. We asked our residents, and it was carried out independently. They didn't even tell us to whom they provided these questionnaires. They provided it to kindergartens, to different people. So we couldn't influence this process. So before, people brought these questionnaires to the village councils, and now we are not involved in the process of questioning. And the results were presented to us. You can't even imagine that. I was so surprised when in the jubilee they said that they loved this fountain in the village, and children and adults together they placed on the first place that we have wonderful people in our village, and this is a great potential. And when people are good, when they live happily, and there is good neighborhood, so it is easier for the power institutions to work with such wonderful people. So what are the priorities for Stepove village? So they paid more attention to this village, and this is roads, school, and the quality of education is not so good because teachers do not want to go to villages because there is no housing for them, and we have two-storied hostel, and we want to repair it and to use it for social housing, for teachers, for specialists. So this is our. Also, we have road. We have some problems with road, and there are trucks, 30 or 40-ton trucks, and we want to drive them away from the village because they damage the roads. And we should complete these projects with schools, with roads, and we are speaking about Slobozhanska and Yevgeniya community, and recently it was village Yevgeniya village, and you were in Dnipropetrovsk region, and now this is Slobozhanska village that is in Dnipropetrovsk region. So what about the decommunization of these names? So no one even paid attention to this. People liked the idea, and it was nothing special. It was not in the center of our attention. And we understand that people there are ready for changes, and they introduce these changes themselves. So we wish you all the best in your position and as a chief of the village. And of course, villages of Ukraine should be revived, and we wish you all the best. And at the end of our press conference, we will see Decentralization Gov.ua site video. And this video is started with an image of the fountain. We have the opportunity to buy everything using the budget. So these are toys, chemicals, medicines, repair materials. All this is provided by our village council. We have two groups for children who frequently fall ill. So we have physio cabinet, we have a cafe for children, and there are rooms for also psychologists, and a special room for psychology, special room for children where they play. So there are two kindergartens, and we need a third kindergarten because 534 children are awaiting this kindergarten, and we hope that it will be built soon. In one of the blocks, there is administrative and household facilities, kitchen, laundry, and also there is a computer class. In other blocks, there are cloakrooms and bedrooms, and this 220 children can attend this kindergarten. At the moment, the Center of Social Support is a single office that can provide maximum amount of services to the members of community. These are services provided, and also there will be territorial services as to migration. Also people can get passports here. So now you will do it according to the register. So these are administrative services that are financed from the budget. So I believe that the opening of such a center is really comfortable. You can come here, you can get all necessary documents, and I don't waste my time or time of other people. So all the basic administrative services that are needed in the community, they will be close to them because of the introduction of such an office. So we were the most poor village council. We had budget 500,000 a year, and then we joined changes, and we initiated this unification, and as practice shows, we won because our profits increased. Now we have more money, and I believe that it is enough in order that our Stepove community prosper. We need quick results in order that people see that something is going on, and they should see that the procedures are simplified. And 5 main villages, they didn't have electricity there, and there will be saving in the use of this lighting of streets. So the financing was improved, and we have more opportunities for recreation. We bought some musical equipment, electric ovens, and also we work on infrastructure projects. So we see that 41% of revenue from the plans you adopted. The United Community worked on the portfolios of projects that can be realized. These are 70 million and up, and each of the project is the development project. The building of new facilities, creating of employment opportunities, and improvement of infrastructure. And this is the main. And I would like to say that in the framework of regional agency, we started the educational cluster to educate people who will become chief of villages and the deputies of councils, because they understand that deputies should be cooperative. They should support people, and this education is free of charge, and it is supported by Oblast administration and Oblast self-governance organization and our international partner, Switzerland and Ukraine program, support of decentralization in Ukraine, that provided this information resource and opportunity to use it for the needs of Dnipropetrovsk residents. So the structure of the budget was changed, and we see that we have more rights and we can realize them. We get more money in the budget, and we can do more programs because our budget allows this. And now we have the plan of strategic development of the community, and we questioned people, and we didn't even know that we have so many issues, and we have so children and adults, they differ in their needs, and we will introduce their opinion in the plan in order to develop our community properly. Dear colleagues, thank you for being here. We had the meeting on decentralization, and now we are going to share our experience. So we had Gennady Zubko is speaking. So we worked on the issues concerning each territorial community, and we now have the wish of the president, of the prime minister, of government. They have the wish to provide power to local communities at the grassroots level, at the level of communities. So please tell us about the changes in constitution in order to decentralize. So we should provide changes not only at the level of territorial community, it should be at the level of the region and at the level of oblast. And there will be councils on the level of oblast, and prefect will be will replace the head of the region. So they will these prefects will supervise the the adherence to current legislation. We feel some improvement. We see that people become more responsible step by step. We cannot say that it's something special, but we see positive changes. And in house number 12, there is a special medical unit. We can get medical help, so we can get medical help locally. So we understand that communities should be united, and for example, Chumakivska Council and Yubileyne, we held a public hearing, and 90% expressed the wish to get united with Yubileyne and 3% with Chumaki. That's why whether to get united or not was not on the agenda. We just decided with whom we want to get united.